Hey guys, Jesse here from Shred and Enjoy. I've got 2 skateboards with my own custom design on it, and I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, guys, so before we get into the specifics of the boards and the process and a review of them, I'm going to talk about why this might appeal to you. And I think Professor Skateboard, Paul Schmidt, is it Professor of Skateboarding? I don't know. Anyways, this guy, Paul Schmidt, who's been long influential in skateboarding and long in the design/manufacturing side of things with skateboarding. He said it best in an interview on the Nines Club, and I'll play that little segment of what he says right now.
Yeah, well, it's a shame to say, that brands don't build product; they're branding companies. Yeah,
So to me, what he just said resonated with me because skateboard manufacturers are really not. I guess skateboard brands. They're selling you a brand, and with that an image, and not really selling you the skateboard per se. Like the skateboard is the same skateboard as many other people. It's really easy to get lost in all that branding and imaging and trying to find like, oh, which one is me? Which one do I identify with? Or which one speaks to me or is interesting? And skateboarding should be simpler. It really should just be like, oh, that's a cool design. It's a shape I like and I'm going to rock it. But, where I grew up, there's a lot of judgmental stuff going on, kids being punk kids, whatever else. And like your skateboard actually said something about you. And all that rigmarole honestly left me disinterested in that. And I wound up skating blanks for a lot of high school, which is, I skated a lot from like 12 onwards to about 24 or so before I cashed out for a little while. And I mostly just skated blanks, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I'd originally skated like, I'd look like, oh, I really want a toy machine. And then, that toy machine was rad, but then people were like, well, you're not punk rock. Like, what are you doing with a toy machine? And then someone else would want a toy machine skateboard too, and their parents didn't buy one, so they stole mine. And, crap like that happened. And I just got really sick of dealing with it all and never really found something I identified with that also someone else would covet more and try and steal or mess with. Or, there was just all that crap going on. So I started skating blanks and I didn't have to worry about it. I could just do my thing. It didn't say anything about me. It was just a skateboard and I could just be me on it. So I skated a lot of blanks. So I got back into skateboarding a couple years back, and I just picked up cheap blank, literally just white, nothing on it. You can see I haven't done a whole lot with it, some board slides, skating a little bit of pool and stuff, barely any grinds on here, a little rusty. But yeah, so I picked this up, and I did what I normally did. I got a blank, and I got some indie trucks and wheels, and just threw it together and skated that. And while I was looking for a skateboard, and just quickly to say, I would normally support a local shop, and there's a local shop I liked and did a lot with in snowboarding, but unfortunately they stopped operating around the time that this all, I decided to get back into skateboarding, so I just grabbed an online one at that point. But normally I would have supported them. Shout outs to Steph and Ryan Sublimity. But I just picked up a blank and went about my thing, and while I was looking around online, I noticed that several places offered a service where you could get a custom design put on your skateboard. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And that resonated with me. I could have a design that was me and distinctly mine. And I'm an adult now. I'm not worried about anyone trying to steal my stuff or deal with that. Like that sort of BS kid stuff drops away when you're an adult. So I didn't have to. I could just go with what spoke with me, and that was something I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna skate this blank, and maybe I'll treat myself. So now, a little while later, Christmas came around. I'm doing all right for myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna order myself some custom skateboards. So I did, and I'll tell you all about that here in a second. So now that we've got the why out of the way, let's talk about how I went about it and what even got us here exactly. So I knew that you could do custom skateboard design, and I was excited about that. I really, really wanted it, and as a treat to myself. And so I did the design, and I'll cover the design stuff, like I've said, later, so you can really tag along and see what I did and the nerd specifics of it, which may not interest you. But I came up with my design, and I originally sent it to CCS. And I was like, cool, because that's good. I'll use the CCS one. I'll get a deck from them, and then I'll get supplies from a local skate shop, which I did. I got trucks and everything from a place here in Ventura, California, which is where I'm at right now. But I'll talk more about that later. But anyways, so I ordered a deck from CCS and then forgot about it. I'm like, it'll show up when it shows up. That'll be rad. I'll just keep skating this blank and having fun. And that's that. And then a few days later, I got an email back from CCS, and they're like, oh, your design has been rejected because it contains copyrighted material or something like that. And I am pretty sure it does not. I purchased a lot of the designs on vector stock. I've done some design stuff elsewhere in my life and had some credits left there. Or I did some fair use stuff, or I did some free to use stuff. And this is probably a good time to mention, if you see anything in my design that is yours and I shouldn't be using, let me know. I acquired it, God honestly, from free to use sites or vector stock, or the very few things that are fair use were modified to the point that I don't think it can be claimed as your own. But if there is something there that is yours, let me know. It's out there on the internet. Someone is wrongly saying like, oh, you can use this, or wrongly selling me it on vector stock. And I'm not in this for money. I'm pretty sure this video is not going to get all that many views like all my other ones. But anyways, get at me if there's a problem with it. But anyways, I heard that back from CCS, and I understand why. You'll see my design, and it's really busy, and there's a lot in it. And I can totally see why someone at CCS would be like, this is just too much to review all of, thumbs down. Like, there's no way I can confirm all these graphics are okay. And I was bummed out by that. And so I looked at the design. I took the one thing that was like fair to use, which is like a picture of Steve Buscemi's crazy eyes, and I made his eyes even crazier with like graphics over him. Like, you can't even tell it's him anymore. There's no, his eyes aren't even in it. So I did that, and I resubmitted it to CCS, and then I tried to reach their customer service and be like, hey, like, please print this. I actually own, like, I bought most of this imagery from vector stock, or it was free to use or fair use. I'm not using any brands logos or anything like that. And then I was like, who else does custom skateboards? Like, what are my other options? And I Googled around and found Boardpusher, and they only do custom skateboards. Well, they also do grip tape, but like they're not like CCS where they do like mail order, they have clothes and everything else. And also like, I don't know if they still do snow, but they did snow for a while. And they just kind of, they're the mail order online thing. This is just, you do your design, we get you your design on stuff. And that really appealed to me. So I ordered a board from them as well, thinking the CCS would get rejected again. And lo and behold, CCS shipped it, and they shipped this. And so I wound up in the perfect situation to talk to you guys not only about doing custom skateboard design, but show it to you from two of the main people who make it. Okay, so we've now covered the why. This is interesting to me. I covered a little bit about how I got to even have two to compare. I'll later talk about how I actually did it, but let's get into what the design is and kind of comparing the products I got from the two people. So this is the box CCS shipped it in. It is a plain cardboard box, shipping label, nothing all that exciting. And the skateboard, came in there, and this was also premiering the design for you guys, is right here. And I'm really happy with how the design came out. I have to say, I think CCS, the printing color on it's quite vivid. It's really good. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And it's a 7-ply maple. Both of these are 7-ply maples. Yeah, it's a good skate deck. It came with grip tape. The grip tape was free. And I'm like, why not throw it on there? But yeah, it came out great. It shipped in this box. It was good. Cons, I will say the packaging inside the box wasn't very good. This was just loose in there with like a piece of saran wrap looking stuff with like some stickers in there. But it got here, it's not damaged, and it's rad. So this is the CCS custom deck. The color is absolutely vivid on it. I'm stoked, and I definitely could recommend going through CCS. So that is a shout out to them. So next up, we've got the Boardpusher deck. Now, I already opened these so I could make sure that they were right, because I didn't want to like open it and in a video and be like, oh, this isn't my design, or this is the wrong board or something. I got the deck from Boardpusher, and it is also sweet. I am really impressed with the construction. It didn't come with grip on it. I could have added it for $4. I think it was $4. I should have, but I've got this grip behind me that I'll eventually put on there. It's kind of rad graphic that I picked up also from a local skate shop. But it also came out really awesome. The one thing I'll note is you'll notice looking between these two, there is a nice vivid white, a very nice clean white on the CCS. And on here, I do not have the white. I lost it in favor of the wood grain. And I think that's got something to do with the print settings in their online design tool for Boardpusher. But I'll talk more about that in the how section, where I get into like what I did and how to use their websites and everything else. And I'll be showing you guys on my screen what I did. But it actually still looks rad. Like, I really like how that turned out. I got lucky that my loss of white background just shows the wood grain. So like, this is pretty sick. I am undeniably excited about this, and I think it came out great. Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to do a lot better than this, unless you really specifically want that bright white, which I'm sure there's a way to do. But yeah, overall, I think that this is also a killer board. 7-ply maple, just like the other one. And yeah, the pro of this is that since I opened it, I can tell you that it came wrapped in foam. It came with, a nice plastic film on it. Like, this board was protected inside the box. So, I don't know, maybe you're shipping really far away, or maybe you're somewhere in rural Canada, or who knows what, where your carrier, is dragging your stuff to you on a horse or a donkey or whatever, and your box is going to get dinged up. Like, the wrapping for the Boardpusher is vastly superior. So one pro to Boardpusher for that. Also, their box is nice and professional and presentable. It has like no bearing on it though. Like, I think the box is just as durable, but I mean, hey, it looks pretty. If you're getting this for like your kid, like, they'll be super stoked on the box. Or like the CCS box, they'll not know it's a skateboard till it's in there. Minor details though, but yeah. So the Boardpusher board, also rad. So with both of these out now, I can say for certain, I can safely recommend both of these companies, and going with either for design. They both came out really good looking. I think there's advantages to Boardpusher as far as the packaging goes, but outside of that, they're both really vivid. Like, if we get into like down here where it got like that's like, there's actually a fish and a taco who's holding a margarita, which for anyone who knows me, like, I really like tacos, and fish tacos are pretty dank, and margaritas are awesome. And the whole thing came together really well. Like, all that's really vivid. The colors between them, like, that looks great on the CCS. And then you go over here to the Boardpusher, and like, the quality is the same. Like, they're both comparable. I think the only thing is there must have been a setting I Didn't know about that result in me dropping this weight, but it worked out. So yeah, I can definitely recommend both of these skateboards to anyone who's interested in a custom design, and I'm stoked on my design. Okay, so you've seen the graphic I did. We've talked about CCS versus Boardpusher as far as the actual final product goes. And at this point, that may be all you need. Like you might just take off on your own and do it. But if you want to get into the weeds about like what I actually did for the design, how I worked with Photoshop to make this all work, I'm going to talk to you about that and the different websites, along with some of the things that aren't so good between the two, what's better, what are some advantages, and I'll let you know right now, Boardpusher has a couple advantages to its site that I think make Boardpusher a superior product to use, and I think it's like a couple dollars cheaper too, even when you have the grip tape on. But yeah, I'm gonna get into that right now. Okay, I think I'm recording my screen at this point. So yeah, let's talk about CCS and where you would go to even do your own custom design. So we'll get into how to actually do the design itself. For now, it's just a tour of how to use the website and what the web tools look like. So for CCS, to even find it, it's not on the homepage right now, and that may change. It's always seasonal. Like right now, they're trying to be like, oh, give a gift card because today is actually Christmas. So at this point, you're not going to get a product in time. But if you go up to the menu, there isn't anything for the custom design. There is this CCS Customs X. Now, the CCS Custom X is like collaborate directly with your favorite brands and artists, which isn't what I was after. It's still like associating with a brand and their image and whatever other stuff is going on with it, but it's personalized to you. So it's a half step, a half measure, which isn't what I was after. And it might be what you're after. If you want to do it, like this is for you and that's cool. You can be like, oh, I really enjoy and I want to make it my own custom thing. Be like, this is me through enjoy. And that's cool. That's you. That's not me. That's not what I was after. Where I found what I was looking for is you go to decks only. And the first deck that shows up before you've even been like, oh, I want a blank or anything like that, is the custom deck right here. And their custom decks are $56.95. And if you scroll down here to most of the other decks, you'll notice that, all the non-CCS brand stuff is pretty much $60 to $70. You can get up into the hundreds if you get their high-tech ones. So it's cheaper to do your own design on a skate deck. It's not as cheap as a blank, but it's just as good of a skateboard and it's unique to you. So click here for the custom skateboard deck. And you go in right now and you can pick your width. In my case, I went 8 1/4. And what's nice about CCS that Boardpusher doesn't have nearly as well is that you can make it a complete. You can choose the grip tape you want to add. If you want some red grip tape, you can do it. Or you can just add grip tape for free, skate tool, whatever else you can do that make it a complete, and that reloads the page. Fair warning, if you're doing this and don't start as a complete and reload the page, you'll lose your design. You can do I want the best components. You can do that. You can change things. There's options for going through here and customizing everything. But for me, the main thing that mattered was just a deck. So I'm going to go back to the skateboard deck here and select 8 1/4. I'm going to do custom bottom graphic. Now, I've already got the graphic ready to go and designed, and I'll later get into the design process, but let's go here to upload image. You can see I've got the Shred and Enjoy 825 collage shred graphic. I double click this to upload, and boom, it's already the correct size, already ready to go because I started in Photoshop. But you can also add multiple images and place them on there. You can, rotate things if you want and be like, oh, I want this here and then that there. And, maybe someday I'll do a skateboard full of skateboard designs, just a whole bunch of strips of them. But anyways, this is ready to go. Hit done, and that's it. You can hit complete at this point because you're done. Let the little skateboard wheel finish doing its rolling thing. All right, so now that we're here, you can see that we've got the design in here. We've got the design ready to go. We've got this. You can pick it all out. Add custom top graphic. No, I don't know why you would do that. Maybe you want to put clear grip over your custom graphic, or maybe it's for art. I don't know why you would do that, but let's just say I just want the deck. You go add to cart. Ooh, I can see I was looking at some really fancy trucks for fun. But yeah, there you go. That is the process with CCS. And it's pretty straightforward. You check out, and that's it. I think it's cool and unique. It works good, and it got me a nice, vivid, full color design. So that's working with CCS for you. All right. So now we've talked about CCS. Let's talk about Boardpusher. So I keep calling them Boardpushers. It's just Boardpusher is their website. Sorry for any of that. Sorry, Boardpusher. I don't know why. They just pluralize it. Maybe that's because it's good English or something. Good, better English? Better good. Anyways, I really liked Boardpusher. There's a lot about it that I think works better. There's also more options. Like CCS was limited to just, as far as I'm aware, and I couldn't find anywhere else on their website, just several popsicle skateboard sizes. But you can take a look here. If we go to design your own skateboard, click that first. There's all the different possible shapes. Popsicle one being the most common. You can do a nice 9-inch wide one. You can do a retro rock, a square nose, a longboard, an old school shape, a cruiser, a bottle tail. There's a lot of options out there. For this though, I'm going to walk you through just the popsicle skateboard. You can choose your size over here. So 8 1/4, 8.25. There you go. And then you go add image. And in my case, I should be logged in. Let me log into this. This is one thing that is nicer about Boardpusher that didn't exist with CCS. You can go to design your own skateboard, popsicle, 8 1/4, add image. So everything I've uploaded before is available again on the website. So you can see I've got the full collage graphic there in the bottom left of those. I also have 2 other graphics I'm going to talk about later when I get into the process of working with uploading stuff. But specifically, or I guess that'd be more the process of designing stuff. But if you click the image for Shred and Enjoy, which I've done before, you can put it on. You'll notice that it's rotated wrong, so you just take this and you just go, you gotta go till it's just right. It took me a second every time. But yeah, there you go. Boom, ready to go. Skateboard. At this point, you can hit finish. You got a skateboard ready to go. You can add it to your cart. You can save to your account, which I think is one of the big things that makes Boardpusher a better website and better to deal with. And there you go. You're out the door. It's $54.99. CCS is $56.95. They come with free grip tape though, and they have $0 grip tape. And if you add the grip tape to here, it's $4. So then this is $58.99. So now this is $2 less. But just a heads up, if you save your first design to your account after you've signed up, they will email you a $5 off coupon to your email. And so that works as well. You can just sign up, save your design, wait a few minutes, get that $5 off, and then it's $53.99 as compared to $56.95. We're talking just a few dollars though across a $60 product, a little bit more with shipping. So like you're really splitting hairs. Pick whichever one makes you happier to deal with and whichever interface you find easier to work with. So anyways, at this point, I'm not gonna do anything with this design. I'm not worried about it. I've already got some saved. It was nice. You can go here to your profile. You can see your decks. You can manage your decks. You've got the URL here to your profile, so you can show your share with your friends. You can make your decks available for sale, and that's a whole nother really cool thing about Boardpusher. And I'll get into that after the design phase. Yeah, we're gonna go here and manage decks. And just so it's clear, none of mine are for sale. I don't have the for sale thing. I have my profile set to private. So if I don't have the rights to everything on this, which I'm pretty sure I did my best with, but if there's something in there, I just didn't even want to deal with it. I've got a really nice, comfortable job. I don't need to try and make money selling skateboards, at least not at this moment. But so I've got the Shred and Enjoy graphic right here, Save Popsicle. And you can also see this other one, the Shred and Enjoy Punk Pool one. I'll talk later about that when I go through like what I did in Photoshop and why Boardpusher I think is also superior from that perspective. But you can, come back and add another one to your cart. So let's say I want to deal with this particular design again. I can go, okay, I want to order this again and add it to cart. You can also go back, you can click Edit Deck Graphic, and you can go back and you can edit the finish again. So this is where I think I messed up, speaking of where the white turned into wood. If you go full color on it, then you can see that the white has come back and it's a full color print. But natural was pretty cool in this one. I think I'm gonna keep that one natural. So anyways, we'll go back. We don't wanna save this. And you can have your deck info and everything else. And so that's the process of working with Boardpusher. And I found Boardpusher to be a good experience better in several other ways as well, which I'm gonna talk about right now. So next up is, why do I prefer the Boardpusher website, and what about it's better? Well, we've talked about the fact that you can save your skate deck designs and everything else. We've talked a little bit about the fact that you can sell them, so you can design them for like you and your friends and they can order them. There's all that sort of stuff, and you can even actually create a shop. So if you go down here to sell online with Boardpusher shops, I think it's $5 a month or $50 a year. You can get set up and people can buy skateboards off of you. And you can see right here, mark up your decks and make some cash. Sell your decks for $59.99 and make $10 a deck. So at that price, you're still cheaper than a lot of the other skateboards on CCS with designs on them. You're getting $10 a deck with a custom design. And if you sell 5 decks, then you've broken even for a year. And being able to start a business for $50, again, presuming you have the software access, excluding all that sort of stuff and rights for graphics and things you may have to deal with. That's cheap. So, and it's fun too. And it also gives you a discount on your decks because your custom design deck's base price is $50. Well, now you can order your own deck for $50. So, it's only $4 or $5 off for you, but that works out pretty good. So you can make a couple bucks off of it. So I think Boardpusher is also great here. If you're going to put in the time to come up with a really unique design, you can sell it. And for $50, take a chance, go for it. So I think Boardpusher is great in that regard. I also think their website for choosing the shapes is really, really good and really informative on the information. For example, let's say we go with the punk nose pool shape. You can go into here and you can click the help button and it gives you so much information about what you can work with. And it even gets into things like bleed, which they don't really talk about on CCS, but for those unfamiliar, bleed's essentially, hey, this is the area where whatever you have may not necessarily print to the deck. So I think this is really cool. Also, where they nailed it in CCS, you really are going to want to learn from this if you want to be competitive as far as full custom, full graphic designs, is they've got templates for all of their shapes, 150 DPI dots per inch or 300 DPI. And so you can download these, and in my case, it's like, okay, I'm dealing with the punk nose. You can click on it, and there it is. You've got the whole thing, and you can throw that in Photoshop. So, I'm a big fan of this. Where I do think Boardpusher could do better is they could kind of promote it. I mean, you've got some space around here, maybe promote it somewhere right on the page. The other thing that's nice is if you go to, let's see, I think it's design your own skateboard, more info on custom skateboards. No, that's not it. Where do we see the dimensions? Let's see, help. View full deck specs for all shapes. You click on that. And this could be a little easier to find, and it would be nice if you made this easier to find or this information more readily available for Boardpusher. But you can see all of the different shapes, and they've got some information on these ones. But if you click on like, okay, I want the punk nose pool shape. You can see it tells you how long the nose is, the tail, the wheelbase. That you can see all of the information, the recommended trucks. The design information, like you can get every little detail for these, which is sick. I think you can see the crosscut, concave. You can see the profile view. I think Boardpusher's like nailed getting detailed information out to a possible purchaser, and so that really won me over. And they'll probably get most of my future designs going forward for this. But so. Boardpusher is great for that design. It's great because you can store your skateboard designs and you can later resell them. And, if I get around to getting the rights for all these, like I confirm everything on here. And you also have to pay a little extra on vector stock, which is where I get a lot of my generic graphics. If you want to license things for retail, I'm not retailing these. These are just personal. So the license I have for them is okay. But there's a big cost difference. So like this rad robot right here with like the word bubble was 1 credit. And I forget what a credit costs on vector stock, but I think it's 29 credits. So it's, 29 times more expensive to buy a design for retail. Sorry, and that's what I meant. It's 29 credits for the full retail version of the graphic or the licensing. So, Boardpusher's got a lot going for it, and I highly recommend it. And that's to say, for my use case, like I'm doing a full design, top to bottom, all of the elements. I've got the whole thing tied in. I'm designing at that level, and you may not be. So if you aren't, there's different things about each tool that may work better for you. I do encourage you to check them both out. But if you're going for a variety of decks with a graphic across a variety of decks, then definitely check out Boardpusher. I can't recommend it enough in that regard. All right, guys, so let's talk about the process next that I used. And specifically, since we're already looking at the punk nose pool shape, this is actually a board I just ordered. So let's even talk about that one. So I went to Boardpusher because they're kind of more tuned for what I like to do. To design your own skateboard. I'm like, okay, this punk nose pool shape looks pretty sick, but are the dimensions right? Because I couldn't really tell from this picture here. Like this is a lot of tail, and it's a big old scoopy nose, and who knows? So I went help view full deck for all shapes, blah 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 blah. I went down to like, okay, it's the punk nose pool shape. Okay, like, nose is a little, it's like almost, 5/8 of an inch shorter than the tail. That's not too bad. It's pretty wide at 9 inches, which I think is kind of fun. I want like that big old school skatey vibe. I still want a nose for modern tricks. And I don't know. So I picked that up and I'm like, cool, I'm going to run with this. So go back here. I went and let's close this. So I'm at that design and I'm going to go add image. And, or I guess we'll get to the image part in a bit. But so at this point, I know this is the shape I want. Then I went up here to help, and I went over here and I said, okay, I'm going to grab the punk nose 300 DPI. I'm going to open link in new tab. And just shout out, by the way, for this striping, the row striping that allows you to easily differentiate which row is which. So, I got the punk nose all the way over 300 DPI. That's a really good web design element. I work online, web is what I do. So I noticed these things. And so I went and grabbed this image here, the Boardpusher template, and I copied it over to Photoshop. And let's take Photoshop here, go to this here. I'll get to the design later. And you can see I plopped it right in. Less the, I erased all this text in the middle, which is useful, explains a little bit about things you need to know. And so there might be something in there that you don't know. But in my case, I read it and I know it. It's all about what bleed is and some general information. So we go back to the design. So you can see I have that template there and I know where my bleeds are. I left the truck so I could tell. And then I was like, okay, what do I want to do for design? And so what I wanted to show you guys is I was really inspired by Mike Valle and his interview with the Nines. And by the way, it is Valle, it's not Valele, which is totally what I thought it was. But he actually makes fun of people for it in that interview where I think his wife called the skate shop once and was like, oh, yeah, we got the Mike Valele Pro Decks. And the guy like corrected her. And he was like, that's his wife. Like, she's got the same last name. Like she would know her own last name. But she didn't correct him apparently. But it was funny. It's a common misconception. But anyways, I saw this really awesome graphic he had. And I think he's a rad skater and a unique personality. Beyond just what he was marketed as. You should listen to him. He's a good dude. And I was inspired by his design where I really like the elephant, the animal in the middle, and it's got like his logo there, or Valele, and Power Pro Alto logo, and I just love the texture of it, and it's rich and deep. I'm like, cool, this is kind of something I'm inspired by. So what am I going to run with? Let's do an animal. So I went to vector stock, and I typed in, okay, let's go with like a cobra. That's kind of sick. And I was looking through and I'm like, oh, this one's right here. Like, this is pretty cool, Cobra, but I don't know. I wasn't able to think of a way to make that one work quite the way I wanted. I was going through, I'm like, oh man, this Cobra here is pretty sick. And you can see I actually purchased the standard license for it to use it. And it's the expanded license I talked about. If you click over Learn More, you can see, I guess I can't mouse down there, you can see resale items is only checked in the expanded license. I just got the standard, so I don't have the rights to resell it. I do have the rights to use it on a design. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run with this. So let me go back to Photoshop and talk about all the elements I threw in. So I grabbed that Cobra and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. And let's make this look more like a skateboard for you so you can see what I'm up to. I expanded the green all the way to the top and I expanded the black all the way down to the bottom. And like, this looks cool, but it doesn't have that texture that if you look at the Valele graphic, you can see it's got that really awesome texture all around. I'm like, that looks so rad. While what I have looks plain. So I went out and I searched the internet. I'm like, okay, I need to find a snakeskin pattern. And I was able to dig this up and throw it over the graphic, and that gave like this nice snakeskin texture to the snake itself, which really, I'm going to zoom in on it so like you can really see when you zoom in like how much richer that looks when it's got that pattern on it. Like this is more cartoony, and you can see that these colors are pretty round and unnatural. Like this is just kind of not how that snake would naturally look. But then you throw that pattern on there and it gets, like this one doesn't quite match, that one doesn't match, this one doesn't match that one. Like it's organic in that regard. I've got that snakeskin pattern on there, and I dug this up. I think it was another free to use one, and then I had to do some modifications to it and flipped it, and I'm playing with the opacity and like, so this one is totally, modified at this point. And you can even take a look too, if I disable the snake, you can see like I came through with an eraser. It was like, hey, I want this dip here because that matches kind of like the snake's neck and highlights in through here. We've got like a lighter pattern up there. And then we've got like a darker pattern down through here to like the bottom of the logo itself. So you can see it's like extra rich through here. And then it goes back to mellow through this. I'll remove that guide even so you can see it. Oh, that's not the guide there. But yeah, that came together. I'm like, hey, this is really fun. Now I've got this like rich, rad Cobra that's like sick on this sick design. It's got that nice textured pattern all throughout. Well, let's see, need my logo. So I threw my logo on there, Shredded in Joy. Obviously, hopefully you're familiar with it because you're watching this video. And yeah, that's a skateboard I feel sick about. I'm not going to do a whole lot more with it. Like I could do a whole bunch like on the nose of the tail, but those are just going to get skated off. So like I don't really care. The one thing I did on the other board and this board, and I would encourage you guys all to do this because I think it's fun. I did this thing, I'm mentally calling it like positivity underfoot, but under the trucks, I just wrote shred the world and stay rad. And on my other skate deck, I've got my name and phone number on the bottom, and hopefully I managed to remove that from the video so I don't get random people from the internet calling me. But Paul Schmidt, that Professor Skateboard professor, whatever, he one of the things he said as well that resonated with me was like, if it's worth doing, someone's going to copy it. And so go for it. Copy this, please. Like throw some positivity underfoot. If you are a major brand and you take this idea, or you're Mike Vallely and you take this idea, send me one of your rad skate decks and we'll call it even. Maybe buy me a burrito if it makes $1 million or something. Like whatever. I can't possibly patent this anyways. But yeah, so this was the rad design I came up with because I really wanted one of these skateboards based on a skateboard, the first skateboard that I ever used, my friends. And so I put this together. I'm like, hey, that's all good to go. I went up to Boardpusher and let me go over to here. I've got design your own. Okay, down here, add image. You can see I've got the image uploaded here. And okay, I put it on, but why does it look a little funny? Let's see. So we're gonna go background, we're gonna add image. And why did the image come out funny? Let's see, is this the little edit icon I want? This one. I swear there's tools that normally show up here. Let's reload this. Okay, so go back to add image. Click on this one. Yes, here's the images here. And you can see that this is like super zoomed in, and I don't know why it's scaled that way. When I first upload it, it's fine. It's all good. You just zoom out, just keep going until you've got your words right there under the truck bolts in my case. So you can see I've got stay rad, shred the world. I think I can zoom out one more. Can I zoom out anymore? Nope, you gotta zoom up. So that's the full thing. Cool. So yeah, you've got shred the world right there. And yeah, a little bigger. Yeah, oh yeah, there it goes. It fits now and it's all good. You can see shred the world is under the skate trucks, stay rad's under the trucks. Whole thing fits. I might lose, again, because the bleed lines, I might lose some of the corner of the exclamation point. I might lose some of the corner of the Shredded in Joy. Whatever. I'm not. This is just for fun. And yeah, so I saved this so you can do finish. And at this point, you can go to checkout. And it's worth noting the Punk Nose pool deck is like $5 extra over the regular deck. But I went to save to your account. Again, you go to my account. You can see you can manage decks. Here is my saved and ready to go design. All right, so that covers a little bit of, well, I guess that covers everything. It covers, how it came packaged, what I think about the final product, what the website interfaces are like, the process I used. It should cover everything about how I did it, and that should be the gist of it. If you've got any further questions, leave them below in the comments. I'd be super happy to answer. But I think if you're looking at this and you've gotten to this point and you're still not certain who to go with, try both. I don't think you can go wrong. I got a great full color design out of CCS. That was awesome. I got a sick natural finish and not quite intentionally what I wanted, but now I know a little bit more about Boardpusher. That's sick. I'm going to skate this deck. This is going to be the deck I skate. This is going to be the deck that's art probably. And who knows, maybe I'll skate this deck till it's toast and then want to skate this one and order another one of these from Boardpusher. Like, I've got options, but I don't think you can really go wrong with either of these two brands and either of the designs. So yeah, hopefully this spoke to you. Hopefully you learned a little bit and know a little bit more about it. Again, I highly recommend Boardpusher. They're going to be where I do future things. If I can get the licensing to do it. If you liked that Punk Nose pool deck design I did with the Cobra, and you want me to get the licensing for it or the licensing for this and make it available for sale, like, get at me. Like, if I know there's interest, I'll pay for the additional licensing and then pay that $50, and you guys can ride these skateboards, and I will probably lose money on the process. But if there's 1 to 5 people out there who are even remotely interested in these skate decks, and want to do that, like, that's awesome. I'm glad my design speaks to you. I would super happily share it with you and get it out there. So if that's something you want to do, let me know. I'll go for it. And if not, that's fine. I'm doing my own thing and I'm perfectly happy. But yeah, please like this video. Hopefully you enjoyed all the stuff I've done with it. And please subscribe. I intend to do a lot more videos with skateboarding or other things. And if you've seen any of the other stuff we do, I try and look for content that doesn't exist yet and put something out there for it. I'm not going to be producing more of the same stuff everyone else does, chalk videos, anything else like that. Like, I'm only interested in finding things that haven't been done and that I'm interested in, hopefully others are, in capturing them. Like, I did something really unique with mountain bike forks that have never been done, the Foxzaki video, which is my most popular video, 1,000 views, at least right now. But yeah, so like, I built that. There's very little information out about this. So I made this video, and yeah, I hope to do a lot more stuff like that. So definitely subscribe. Also, on the off chance you're from Boardpusher and you like what I've done and you want any help with your website and the process, because there was a couple areas I mentioned where like things weren't as easy to find or whatever, I would love to help you guys take that to the next level, or even specifically help you guys create video content that's useful for people looking to design things on your site. Some tutorials, where to look for things, help putting things where they belong, videos of like, hey, this is what the punk nose pull shape actually looks like, because you guys don't have any real examples that you can see with your stuff on it. And I think doing that would really help you guys stand out. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for checking the video out. Thanks for enjoying everything we do. We try to enjoy and stay rad. Look forward to a future video with more stuff on taking this skateboard out, putting it all together, everything else that comes with it. So thank you guys, and stay rad.